The following presentation is for mature audiences only.
Who are you?
He's a fine man.
All hell is broken loose.
He's a great broadcaster.
He's a very powerful guy.
Absolutely brilliant.
Feared by men, adored by women.
He's a smart boy. It's patriotic.
It's no big deal.
It's the end of the world.
I might as well tell you now. He's a monkey.
And how you doing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? Welcome in to another edition of The Wild Side with Eric Clark. I am your host, Eric Clark, saying thank you for taking time out of your busy day to give my video a watch and a listen. If you like it, like it. If you think other people are going to dig it, give it a share. Can you dig it? Put the name of that movie down below and you'll get a like from me. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel and you're following me on all the social media platforms. That way, if there's a band, a song, a video, something you want me to check out, you can hit me up with a DM or you can leave it in the comments below. If you hit me up with a DM, no spamming. None. Unless it's like actual spam, then I'll let you know where you can send that. If you are going to leave it in the comments below, join the I Concur Army. Only you can concur with a music suggestion. All you have to do is give it a cursory read through the comments, and if you see your suggestion has already been made, all you have to do is like that suggestion and below reply with 2 words, I concur. That'll help my old rattled, burnout, resin-coated DJ brain put everything into a nice little organized list, and I can get it into the handy-dandy notebook. So thank you to everybody for your suggestions. Sometimes on social media, I'll ask. There are many ways you can get your suggestion to me. Another way would be every Saturday at 2 p.m., we go live with the live stream, the Wild Side Live, broadcasting from East Nashville. Your opportunity to sit down with me for 2 hours, ask me anything, suggest all your tunes, hear my stories of 30-plus years in the rock radio industry. So your chance to sit down and have a chat with Eric Clark. But you have to be a subscriber, so make sure you are clicking that subscribe button and checking the community page. I try. I really do. I want to thank my moderators for keeping me straight, but I am a horrible self-promoter. I really am. I'm one of those, it's 1:55, I better brush my hair and do this video. So thank you to everybody who has been helping me along the way. Thank you to everybody who has been giving me suggestions and giving me band histories, correct pronunciations, and all that stuff. So thank you very much. Also, thank you to Aspen Dental, Connect 200 Music 2C, and Gothic Jewelry. They're the reasons I'm not asking you for money. So thank you very much to the sponsors of The Wild Side with Eric Clark. Today's video is coming from social media. I put out feelers. Hey, man, what would you like me to react to? And, of course, I was very silly for doing that because I got absolutely blasted on social media with, 30, 40 suggestions. So it was pretty overwhelming. I remember I'll wait between doing that again. That was definitely filled up almost half my book. So thank you very much to everybody who have been patiently waiting. Today we are jumping back on the Lovebites train, and we are checking out a suggestion called Frozen Serenade, and this is live 2021 in Tokyo, and it's got some lyrics. Let's check it out. It's Lovebites Frozen Serenade. Here we go. Can't see it, but the hair on my arms is standing up. Come on, man. Wow. Okay, so I didn't want that to go further because it was going to jump into a commercial. But wow, dude, give me a second. That's probably the best Lovebites song I've seen so far. That's probably and I'll get to reasons why. There are many reasons why, because that is a lot to unpack right there. It begins so, it's not stealthy. Because the presence, and this is almost, and I wrote Perfect Change Up, it's almost two songs here, but it's not, because the connection is Asami's vocals. And her vocals in this song, couple of things, there was a brokenness to them that I've not heard before. A brokenness that was mixed with an anger. Right? No, not anger. That's not what I'm looking for. A brokenness mixed with frustration, with a sense of resignation almost, carrying this message through emphatically, right, if that makes any sense. And what really showed it for me was when the song changed up and it went from that heavy melodic to the faster paced jam, and she still carried that same tone with her. Same volume, same pitch, same key. Everything stayed the same from one section to the next, and it carried that same weight to it. So while she's able to bring that bright innocence to the lyric, and that's what's providing those brighter colors around her tone, the tone itself is still a little bit gray. It's a little bit heavier, a little more serious. And secondly, I need to say this again. Lyrically speaking, that was a very beautiful song. It was a beautifully written, lyrically song in English, which is not her first language. And she was able to, and this is what I love about Asami and her vocals and how she does this. The way that she understands, Clint Eastwood once said, a man's got to know his limitations. And she is brilliant at the usage of her instrument. She knows exactly what she's able to do. She knows exactly where she's able to go. And she excels inside of that. She doesn't try to go anywhere. She doesn't try to fake it. She doesn't try to sound like she phonetically learned to say something. So that's her voice. It's not her trying to speak a different language. So I find it very beautiful to see her do that and to hear her do that, and for her to be able to sing in English and still carry the weight of that message. And again, it was almost like this, you're feeling this, like I said, you're feeling a brokenness in her delivery. And I found it and like I said, you can't see it, but the hair on my arms is standing up. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. There's a reason old heads love this band. There's a reason for that. And you can chalk it up to cute Asian girls, whatever you want. But I think you're doing a disservice to the band. I think you're doing a disservice to the fan base. I think you're doing a disservice to the genre itself when you make that simple of an opinion about something. Because when you sit down and you actually listen to them, that is generational tone is what they're getting here. Okay, they're bridging this gap that is so difficult to bridge in subjective pieces. And what Lovebites does et al. And other bands like them that are of this caliber, but especially Lovebites, what they're able to do is provide a familiarity and a legacy in their tone. And then you can say, I wrote down, that's Dio. That's Scorps. No matter what massive metal band from the 70s or 80s, you're going to pull out and say, this is my favorite. They capture a part of that tone, whether it's the drumming that you're accustomed to from that 80s thrash metal, whether it's the twin guitar attack that you're looking for in that, the smart guy metal. Hey, look how intricate this is. And her vocals of that balladeer in metal, the soul of metal. And something that is a classic, rich texture is so hard to establish through your music. And what Lovebites does every time is they provide you with a very established link of familiarity. So when you're listening to those twin solos, that is rich in your own history, somewhere in your world, somewhere in your existence on this planet, prior to ever knowing who Lovebites are. That tone existed, and they tap into it. And a really good moment is that breakdown when the acoustic and the piano begin, and Asami is doing her dance. That's a very emotional moment in this song. And it was getting me. It was definitely getting me, without a doubt. It was tapping into that which I guard, if that makes sense. So I guard these emotions of mine, and it takes a certain key to get into there. We've all built walls, and we're waiting for someone to tear them down. And Lovebites is really good at breaking through all of those walls and getting into that, what you really want from your metal. And it was just brilliant the way they're able to create such intricate layers in what, honestly, again, I say tale of two songs because the beginning of this song is very, not formulaic, and I don't mean formulaic in a bad way. It's very mainstream. It's a very mainstream tune. I wrote down, and I was absolutely wrong, which is why I'm not bringing it up, but I actually wrote down most reserved drumming I've heard from Haruna, most reserved drumming. I didn't bring it up because, again, that second part of the song, what Haruna's doing on the drums, and I found her, there were a couple of fills and rolls in here that were just so slick and just so, if you're not paying attention, you don't hear the little fill, you don't hear the roll, you don't hear the signature change, you don't hear these cool little things that she's doing, a little polyrhythm in the background. And then when it kicks in, what she does is she is able to create this solid, thick connection to everything you want in a metal drum. When you're listening to a rock song, anything you could possibly want in that song, she just displayed in this version, in this performance. Whether it's the smooth, light tapping to just add the soft elements in the background, the subtleties that create that extra layer of, oh yeah, that's really cool, or the pneumatic hammer that actually creates this chaotic heartbeat that continues through the entirety of the track. And going along with that, this is what I love about this band, Misa. The bass line doesn't end. That is 6.5 minutes. That's the heartbeat of the song right there. That is the heartbeat of this song, is that bass line. Because once the song starts, even though the song itself is changing throughout the 6.5 minutes, the song is ebbing and flowing in its tone, in its temperature, in its color spectrum. But the one thing that is continuous throughout and doesn't really change too much within its own spectrum is that bass line. That's that saccadic rhythm. That's that connection you're really making to the very foundation of the song. So you've got that very foundational bass line with those subtleties within the drums that are changing times and signatures and bringing you along. And then swirling all around that is that twin guitar attack. Dude, that is blistering 80s thrash metal right there. That is as good as there. I don't even want to have the argument or the conversation with you. The proof is in the pudding, as they like to say. And they are brilliant. And then when they stop and she goes to the acoustic, and then she goes to the piano, even that, what the first thing I thought of when I heard that was Heart, Crazy on You. That acoustic intro going into Crazy on You. It's the first thing that I went back to. Was that perfect connection of acoustic setting, the light, almost lightning bugs flying around of the acoustic, and that piano, that traditional, nothing beats a piano. And it was a cold one too, wasn't it? It wasn't a very flowery, piece. It was a very cold and meaningful play of piano, and it just made this wonderful third, fourth layer of colors in that spectrum. But the guitars, really, what was getting me was the riffs. They are just so familiar to me that and what I love about Lovebites is that they make me argue with myself. I say, that's from this. No, it's from that. No, it's from this. And then somewhere in my head, I finally say, dude, it's just Lovebites. It's just Lovebites. It's not any of those. So I have to correct myself and say that while the sound of the influence is there, the connection I am making, right? So they're not playing a Metallica riff. They're not playing a Dio riff, even though there is no such thing as an original riff. But what they're doing is they're displaying their influence through their own modernity. And it's one of the things that I just find brilliant about this band. So that was just an incredible. Again, I think that may be the best song I've heard from them as far as the display and how it's formed and how tight of a pocket they were in for the entire time. And that's something else, too, that I don't think a lot of people appreciate or notice or anything like that, is how long they stay in that pocket, that groove, that heartbeat. No one leaves it. So there's no time in here where someone's disappeared. They are all a part of this, and they are all in that same groove, and they are all on that same page. And you feel from all of them, they are all emoting through their performance. You can tell it was a heavier, meaningful track because there wasn't a lot of goofing around. There weren't a lot of smirking and smiles and chuckles and stuff like that. So I get that. There was a gravitas here that maybe, was a little bit more serious tone than others. But that was an absolutely fantastic track, just blistering with heritage while also dripping in modernity. I've used the expression of blooming flower on a battlefield, and that's the sound you're getting here. It's beautiful chaos. She is, her vocals are not sexually. That's not what I meant to say. Very seductive, but almost reserved in the seduction. It's just crazy how she controls that voice, dude, and how beautiful she can create those tones. So I've always loved the band, but that, like I said, that may be the best track I've seen from them so far. So thank you very much for the suggestion. I appreciate that. Lovebites, A Frozen Serenade Live, Tokyo 2021. Again, if you have a suggestion, a band, a song, a video, something you want me to check out, something you want me to break down for you, you can hit me up with a DM or leave it in the comments below. Just follow me on the social media link below. You can also like and subscribe to the channel, and you can hit me up with a DM, no spamming, or you can leave in the comments below, join the I Concur Army. Also, every Saturday at 2 p.m. Central Time, we do a live stream, The Wild Side Live. Your chance to sit down and throw your suggestions at me, ask me questions about my experiences in radio, just have a nice conversation with yours truly. Every Saturday, 2 p.m., right here on the live stream on the channel. But to join the chat, you do need to be a subscriber to The Wild Side with Eric Clark. So make sure you are clicking that subscribe button and make sure you're liking it. And if you think other people are going to dig it, give it a share. Thank you very much to Aspen Dental, Connect 200, Music 2C, and Gothic Jewelry. Thank you very much to all of you for taking time out of your busy day to give my video a watch and a listen. Make sure you're looking out for each other. Make sure you're looking out for your neighbor. Try to do at least one good thing a day. I am Eric Clark, and this has been The Wild Side.